and when you take everything out of it, it looks like it belongs in a science lab, which is pretty cool too. Are you looking for a stylish, tried and true French press that's going to give you a great cup of coffee every day? I'm going to show you one that will do that today here on FrenchPressCoffee.com. We're talking about stylish, classic, tried and true French presses here on FrenchPressCoffee.com. And specifically, I'm talking about the Bodum Chambord line of French presses. I've got 4 of them in front of me, and this is the 12-cup size. I've got the 8-cup, the 4-cup, and the 3-cup. Now, when I say a cup, I'm talking about 4 ounces. But Brian, a cup is 8 ounces. Okay, it's all right. We're talking about French press sizing here, everyone. It's, it's our own math. We do our own math in the French press world. We're talking about 4 ounces, so I'm not talking about a big mug that says, leave me alone, it's Monday, or I hate Mondays, or something like that. I'm just talking about 4 ounces and how much coffee you're going to get out of each one of these. If I say the words French press, you're probably going to think of this. I mean, this is what you associate with, most people associate with French presses. And that's because this is, the original French press. This is the design that we've known. And we've talked about tons of French presses, but this is the one that we've known. So I'm just going to talk about the features here. We'll brew a little bit of coffee and just show these to you, what they've got in them, and what you can expect when you're getting into a classic, tried and true French press like these. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the cage on these French presses, and they're available in 2 different versions. We've got the stainless steel, and we have here the copper finish. So 2 different finishes available. It's a pretty straightforward cage. This is something that we're pretty used to seeing. So the cage will hold the glass into your French press. So the glass carafe is important. You want a well-designed glass carafe because that's how you're going to make sure that you are able to get a really decent cup of coffee, because this is going to actually be responsible for also holding in the heat of the water in the grounds that you're brewing. So that's pretty important. It's good for the glass to be properly tempered. Of course, inside of the carafe is going to be your plunger and your filter and your filtration system. What we have here is your basic wire mesh filter and your standard filter on the bottom. This is, of course, going to press down over your grounds and going to keep the grounds from coming through and let the liquid come through. Then you have your lid, and you have your final bit of filtration that's going to happen when you're pouring right here on the pour, and the lid. So this is all pretty straightforward. It all comes together into your French press. And let's brew some French press coffee. All right, so first of all, we're going to grind coffee. We're going to grind it to the French press setting. Once we've got our coffee, and you want to make sure your coffee is properly ground, which ours is, we're going to add, in this case, 3 tablespoons of coffee. And if you're wondering, you're looking at 7 grams of coffee for every 4 ounces of water that you're going to be putting in your French press. So that makes it pretty easy to calculate, again, how much coffee you're going to need in order to get the proper cup of coffee. So a little bit of coffee math for you there. After you've done your coffee math, or at least just measured properly, you're going to go ahead and take your, I'm using a gooseneck kettle right now, and we've talked about this one before here on FrenchPressCoffee.com. Either way, you want to get your water to the proper temperature. I've got mine at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And we'll go ahead and pour. We're going to bloom first. We're not going to fill this up all the way. We're just going to let our grounds bloom a little bit. And, of course, we've got the exclusive FrenchPressCoffee.com stirring paddle that you can make use of, and this comes with every single order at FrenchPressCoffee.com. Again, we're blooming our grounds, so I'm just going to give them a little bit of a stir. And again, that bloom just lets us get a nice initial kind of beginning to our coffee. So after 30 seconds, we're going to go ahead and just finish pouring our water. You don't need to go too slow, but you can take your time here to get this right. And remember, you got to give yourself a little bit of room because you're going to be pushing your plunger down. So make sure to give yourself a little bit of room. We'll give this a little stir. And then don't forget the magic number. You want 4 minutes total brew time. So we had 30 seconds of bloom, so we're looking at about 3.5 minutes, maybe a little less because I was pouring there. It doesn't have to be, super accurate, but make sure that you get that time in there so you can get the right cup of coffee. And as you're brewing, after you've given that kind of final initial stir, I like to take my lid and my plunger and just kind of set it resting right ever so slightly on top of the grounds there. I'm not going to press it down yet. I'm going to let it sit there, and I'm going to brew for a total time of about 4 minutes. And after we've allowed our brew to happen, we're just going to go ahead and press our plunger down. So this will finish the brew process. And now I would have my, hopefully, perfect cup of coffee. Now, it sometimes takes a little bit of practice to perfect this. Even if you're using all the math that I've talked about here, you've still got different factors that come into play, the type of coffee grounds and the type of coffee that you're using, and again, the temperature of your water, etc. But spend a little time playing with it because that's how you're going to get your perfect cup of coffee. But once you're done, that's your cup of French press coffee. This is the classic French press. Again, if you say the words French press, someone's going to see this in their heads probably 9 times out of 10. And that's it. That's how easy it is to make a classic cup of French press coffee using the original French press, the Bodum Chambord French press. Again, this is the French press that, we all have come to know and love. It's classic, it's tried and true, it's going to do the job really, really well. There's a lot of different French presses out there. You can find them all at FrenchPressCoffee.com. We've got pretty much every type that you could look for. But if you're looking for the one that's going to do the job and do it really consistently, this is going to be a great way to go. And because they're available in all kinds of different sizes, you can really dial in for what it is that you need for your household, just for yourself, whatever it may be. As always, everyone, I'm Brian with FrenchPressCoffee.com. I'll see you next time, and take care.
So did you like that video? If so, why don't you give us a like, maybe subscribe to our channel, and if you do, I'll give you a wonderful coffee quote. It's okay, I'll wait. Go on. There you go. Thank you very much, and here's the coffee quote. Water is the most essential element in life because without it, you can't make coffee.